Well, hello, everyone. I am so happy to be sitting here with the amazing Jerry Slusky. He is the founder and the chairman of the CRE Summit, but you also have your own law practice. You've been doing that for years. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute, but I just want to say welcome, Jerry, and thank you for having a conversation with me today.
Delighted to be here with you, Andy.
All right, so I've got some talking points here, but I'm just going to, as I introduce you, attorney Jerry Slusky has been practicing real estate law in Nebraska for over 50 years. I find that so hard to believe on some levels, but not so much. You're such a kind of a force here in our community, and you've been developing your own commercial real estate for over 40 years. You're also the founder and chairman of the Commercial Real Estate Summit, the CRE Summit, which is now in its 33rd consecutive year. So first of all, congratulations on that. And we're looking at an exciting event coming up here in April.
Really exciting this year. And if I may, Andy, tell you why we think it's exciting and why we think it's a very important 33rd year for our commercial real estate professionals. This year, unlike the last 8 or 9 years, when after the Great Recession, commercial real estate and actually all business has been sailing along and doing very, very well. And stock market's up, and commercial real estate development is up all across the country and probably the world. Of course, now we're facing some headwinds. And our planning committee over the winter detected that, kind of knew some things that were coming. We have a group of 35 CRE professionals in the lending industry, developers, architects, engineers, title insurance, lawyers, brokers, and they coalesce in a few meetings and get to the essence of what's going on in commercial real estate. And what's happened since we really put together a program in maybe March is that it's even the headwinds have gotten stronger. Let's put it that way. And when I say that, obviously I'm alluding to interest rate increases, which are really the Bible for commercial real estate. And you're probably hearing for single family homes right now slowing down. Mortgage applications are down, and you can take that same set of facts and apply it to commercial real estate. So this year's program, Andy, is geared to the changes being undertaken in commercial real estate. And it's really all facets of commercial real estate and the changes impacting those. So it's an important year for our industry to get together and learn from one another. That's our whole purpose, to learn from one another. We don't go outside for education, we educate ourselves. And I think in 33 years, it's been very helpful, let me put it that way, for our community, for Lincoln, and for the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'll add, I mean, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you look at, first of all, the US or the world as a whole. I mean, there are things happening, but there are things unique happening in our neck of the woods, so to speak, in the Midwest that that people need to be aware of. I mean, they might be happening across the board, but we've got a unique situation, I think, here in Omaha as well.
We do, and we all know over the years we've talked about recessions going up and down, and Omaha and Lincoln and Nebraska seem to float through these, and that's good. That's good to know. But if you're sitting today in an engineering firm in Omaha and you've been working 40 plus hours a week and you've been looking for staff for the last 8 years, and all of a sudden things slow down and the phones quit ringing because interest rates are high, construction costs are high, then you get concerned for your own livelihood in your own business. So,
well, again, this event coming up it's the 26th of August or the 25th?
26th, right.
26th, okay. So let's talk, I want to kind of dive into like what's happening this year. without, giving too much away, because the event itself is like, it's so amazing. But you've got a great keynote speaker coming in.
We're
Let's
very
talk.
excited.
Yeah.
So with the so-called the changing world of commercial real estate, we looked for a speaker who deals with change and can help our professionals deal with the changes that are going on.
Mhm.
And this woman's name is Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
Yes, it is
Yep.
really Amelia Earhart, and it's not a relative or anything, but she comes from a flying family, and she herself was in the Air Force and a very talented pilot. And she tells some stories about her piloting, of how when you get into trouble as a pilot, you should, be aware of change and be ready to adapt to those changes.
Yeah.
And that is what she is going to talk about over lunch as our keynote speaker. And she is a delight. We got her on a phone call the other day, a Zoom call, and she will be terrific. And I will bet you we have a lot of high regard for her.
I know, absolutely. I'm personally really excited to listen to her, and what a great topic, because as you know, my father was a pilot, and he's told me many stories. You have to just be ready for change, regardless of the good, the bad, and the ugly. It doesn't matter. You have to be, you just got to be able to navigate through that to
Right.
get through it. Let's talk a little bit about the theme this year, and also kind of some of the breakouts that you have, because it's, to me, what's been going on and kind of what you're doing this year. I mean, every year is great, but this year I think is, like, as you said earlier, I mean, it's just so much more powerful.
Yeah, let me give you some examples of some of the changes going on, just to give you a flavor of the conference.
Sure.
First of all, our opening full session panel is going to talk about the changes going on in the office world again.
Yeah.
This seems to be like a paradigm shift that is stuck now in our civilization and our culture, with people not wanting to come back or enjoying staying home, or companies allowing them to stay home. And we're going to dig into that a little bit more this year. We have some really top-notch speakers on that.
Mm-hmm.
And coupled with that are some very good architects and design firms who are talking about how companies are revising the interior of their offices to deal with the stay-at-home portion of their workforce. So It should be very, very interesting. Secondly, we have an interest rate panel of 4 lenders. And I do want to mention this. We have the top people from Mutual Omaha, Pinnacle Bank, Great Southern Bank, and Northmark. These compose really the food, or the 4 food parts of lending. And they're going to share what's going on with the lenders. What are their attitudes about deals now at 5% and 6% versus 3.5% or 4%? Are deals slowing down? Or is the underwriting more difficult to get a deal done? So I think in 45 minutes, the attendees of this conference will know quite a bit about what the lenders are thinking. And that's a really critical factor.
Yeah. And also, let's talk a little bit. I want to just touch on, before time's up, the Hall of Famers. Every year you induct people into kind of this Hall of Fame, the CRE Hall of Fame, which is a really prestigious place to be. And you've got, I'm looking at you, but I'm also looking at our layout that's going to be out on Friday the 22nd, but looking at the people that are going to be in this Hall of Fame group of people that you've had. So do you want to say a little bit about that?
Sure. And first of all, you're right. If you go back and we print the history of our Hall of Fame and show all the inductees over the 15 or so years we've been doing it, about 60 people. And if you look at those 60, you'll find people who were really instrumental in growing our community and making it more successful. This year is no different. A lot of people know Brenda Dooley. She's run the facilities for First National Bank. Kurt Hofer, a major league developer, home builder. Kevin Rhodes is a Lincoln gentleman who has left his mark, so to speak, down there. And Mark Westergaard from E&A Engineering, who for his whole career, and he and I are about the same age, has developed a very significant number of subdivisions in Omaha, mainly home subdivision, residential subdivision. Yeah, so it's another good group. You have engineer, you have a lender, you have a facilities manager and developer. So we don't think it gets much better.
Absolutely. And then I'm also going to mention, because when people actually see this conversation between you and me, this interview with us, MBJ would have been out probably 5 days ago. So, but we're in the process of getting it out. So at that time, you're announcing the deal and development of the year winners, and they've been named. And those are also important people in this community that are changing literally the landscape, the skyline of the Omaha community and what happens here. And also in Lincoln too. So you want to talk a little bit to that?
Yeah, let's talk about Lincoln first, because you're right. Sure. It's changed the aura and downtown of Lincoln. The Lead Center is a very tall condo deal. Yeah, very impressive deal. The other one for Lincoln this year is a cancer center from the Bryan Health Center down there, a major addition and a lease here. I'm sure that most people know about John Lund's deal at the former Kiewit building, now the Blackstone Tower. And what he's done to convert that into a beautiful building is getting the deal of the year. And the development of the year for Omaha is Jason Fisher's Farnham Hotel. Former office building, still part office, now part hotel, but a gorgeous conversion. And you're right, Andy. All four of these have contributed mightily to both of these markets.
Yeah. And they're just four more people in the line of so many more that have been recognized before them as well at this conference, at this summit. So, and the summit, it is a summit. It's you arrive in the morning, you have the keynote, and then like I always love, you say, at 3:00 or sometime around that time, it's time to continue the celebration elsewhere or whatnot. So,
well, let's call it a major networking event.
Yes.
Okay. Just happens to take place across the street at the Capitol District and one of their fine establishments. And I might add, it is truly networking, because almost everybody, our 700 last year, almost all of them came over, and everybody stayed till 5:30. It was a ball, and people tell me they got deals done. So that's what it's about.
Yeah. And I have a feeling your attendance is going to grow this year, because last year we were still kind of, it's not that we're completely out of it, but we're still kind of in crisis mode, if I can use that word, with the pandemic. And this year people are opening up and getting back together in somewhat a little larger capacity, but also just the whole celebration. And like you say, networking. This event is so important to the networking community, the CRE, which includes so many different industries. It's amazing.
Yeah, and thank you to MBJ and you. We already have signed up a record number of pre-registration.
Awesome.
We're close to 600. Last year we had 700 total. So there's a lot of interest. We hit our record in 19 pre-COVID at 950. I don't think the CHI Health Center can hold more than 1,000. So I might tell the people listening, they better get signed up, or maybe they'll get shut out.
You know what? I think that's good advice for everybody wanting to be at this. And basically when is the dead done ticket sale cut off?
The week of August 26th, we'll cut it off about 3 days before. Okay. But I sincerely do encourage people to sign up now, not just because it's the thing to do, but because they're really going to learn. It's going to help their careers. And I think you're just going to take away an awful lot of good information.
Yeah. Well, Jerry, anything else that you'd like to add before I let you go?
I think you've covered it. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you. And thank you for being the visionary that started this. I know you have a great team and have so for the last 33 years, but it takes that little brainchild that somebody's like, what is possible with this, that then starts to put it into motion to actually happen. So I just want to thank you for that.
Thank you. We're delighted to put it on.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will see you on the 26th, and I hope everybody who's watching this, we will see you on the 26th as well at the CHI Health Center. And yeah, it's gonna be a great day. So thanks again, Jerry.
Thank you again. Take care.